Amazon Fire devices.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Late last night, crews in Floyd County responded to reports of a fire at the Floyd County Schools transportation garage in Martin. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from school transportation officials about the damage and what this means for the school district.
Around 10:30 on Saturday night, calls started pouring in about a possible fire at the Floyd County Schools transportation garage in Martin.
Nobody was hurt, no injuries. Yes, it's got a call at 10:30 on a Saturday night, and we're not open for business at that time, so there was nobody on duty when the call came in.
No injuries were reported, but there was significant damage. Morrison says one bus is a total loss and others were damaged, including the Floyd County STEM bus, which had just made an appearance in Pikeville hours prior. There was also heavy structural damage to parts of the building.
There's structural damage to the building that we'll have to wait on the assessment to make a final determination on that, but it's significant. The damage is significant at this point. We know that today.
Officials say the cause of the fire is still being investigated, and 12 hours later, the building was still smoldering.
At this point, the cause is yet to be determined, so we're waiting on the experts to come in and do their assessment and then let us know from that point.
Morrison says this will make transportation and maintenance a bit more difficult for a while.
It's going to make it tougher, but we've got a good staff that they'll adjust. We got good support from Mrs. Shepard, our superintendent, and everybody's already reached out this morning and willing to lend us a hand.
But he also wanted to thank the crews that responded and the jobs that they do. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Floyd County school officials have just recently announced that all Floyd County schools will be in session tomorrow. We'll update this story as more information is released on our website, WYMT.com.
Well, many of us may have been woken up early this morning by a few rumblers around the region. Did have a few thunderstorms this morning. A couple even worked through this afternoon, but the good news is we've cleared out as we've run through the evening. Outside at the moment, London Corbin Airport, mid-70s, just a few fair weather clouds around the region at the moment. And that is good news after the rain we saw earlier. Temperatures quite mild, middle and upper 70s around the region at the moment. Even our normal cool spots not too far away from 70. Wise sits at 68. Pinpoint Doppler, most of the rainfall and the showers have been off to our east. We're watching one tiny little shower. One tiny little shower east of Hindman right now in eastern parts of Knott County. That'll continue to scoot off to the north and east, so you may have just gotten a couple of raindrops there if you're on the campus of Alice Lloyd College in Pippa Passes, but things continue to push off to the east, and we're dry tonight, and that'll be that way as we head into the day tomorrow as well. Either way, though, you're still going to want to keep that WYMT weather app handy, because while we are looking dry tonight and tomorrow, that looks to change as we head towards the middle of the work week. I'll have the very latest details coming up in just a few minutes. Keaton?
Thank you, Evan. Another name is on the Republican ticket for governor as Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles puts his name in the running. Quarles first announced his candidacy on our sister station, WKYT. Shelby Lofton gives us a look at where things stand for the 2023 campaign.
Another Republican has entered the race for Kentucky's top job. He's one who's gone head-to-head with Governor Andy Beshear before.
I'd like to announce that I will be running for governor in the Commonwealth of Kentucky in 2023.
Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles says he's running to give voters a choice with the goal of uniting the state. The Scott County politician has served 8 years in his current role. Before that, he was a state representative.
I feel like I have a strong track record of executive leadership, and I also feel a calling right now that I could provide Kentucky, if the voters would like, more public service and leadership in our state.
In an interview with Bill Bryant, Quarles praised Republican lawmakers for their work in the legislative session.
I thought it was a great session, that we had pro-life legislation passed, that we were able to protect our gun rights, as well as a bill to save women's sports.
He criticized Beshear's vetoes.
Andy Beshear is vulnerable across for re-election, and I think it's all about making sure that we mobilize the voters and give them a choice on Election Day.
Quarles has publicly opposed the governor's decisions before. He criticized Beshear's COVID-19 restrictions, calling on him to fully reopen the state. He and the owners of Evans Orchard filed a lawsuit against the governor. Before the general election, he'll need to secure the Republican nomination. He joined State Auditor Mike Harmon on the GOP ticket.
As the Republican Party grows, we have to get more used to having primaries. I'm going to have a lot of friends in this.
There's still time for more names to be added. Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
Quarles made his first appearance after his big announcement today. He packed and sorted food with Miss Kentucky hopefuls at God's Pantry Food Bank in Lexington. He said he'll make a more formal campaign announcement in Scott County on June 1st. About a half a dozen other Republicans have been talking about running for governor. That includes Attorney General Daniel Cameron, former UN Ambassador Kelly Knight Craft, and State Senator Max Wise. We know Governor Beshear is running for re-election on the Democratic side. More candidates have a chance to enter the race officially before the primary in 2023. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee declined to sign off on a new law requiring governments and businesses to treat immunity from a previous COVID-19 infection as equal to getting vaccinated. Still, the legislation became law Friday without the Republican signature taking effect immediately. The bill requires a letter from a licensed physician or certain lab test results as proof of acquired immunity. Last year, lawmakers also passed and Lee signed a sprawling state law that largely bars governments and businesses from requiring proof of COVID-19 vaccinations. Money from all over the nation and around the world is pouring into Louisville. During Derby season, the city feels the economic benefits. Much of that comes from short-term lodging, including hotels, motels, and rentals on sites like Airbnb and VRBO. All of it is helping locals get back to work. Airbnb reports a 343% increase in prices during Derby weekend. Offerings still available in the Louisville area include a studio in the Highlands for $480 per night and a one-bedroom downtown for $5,000 per night.
Certainly, all those people that have Airbnbs, those are our local citizens also making money.
Prices as of April 29th are on the low end, $999 per night at the Town Place Suites by Marriott, or on the high end, $2,569 per night at the Omni Louisville. The historic Brown Hotel is all booked up for Derby weekend. Last weekend marked National Infant Immunization Week, but healthcare providers are continuing to remind parents of the importance of keeping their kids up to date on their vaccinations. Scott Lockard with the Kentucky River Health District Health Department, says child immunizations decreased during the pandemic due to multiple reasons, like people not wanting to go to the doctor in fear of contracting COVID, or because many healthcare professionals were busy responding to COVID-related issues.
So it's now a perfect time to talk to your pediatrician about, were there any immunizations that you missed on the periodicity schedule? Go ahead, get caught up on those childhood immunizations.
Lockard adds that the misinformation that's out there regarding different vaccines, it's important to talk to your child's pediatrician or your family physician about any questions you may have. As summertime approaches, veterinarians are reminding pet owners to protect their animals against heartworms. Heartworms are a parasitic roundworm that is spread through mosquito bites and can cause various heart and lung issues in dogs and cats. Dr. William Hagens at Town and Country Animal Clinic says even if your pets stay indoors, it's still important to have them treated for ticks, fleas, and heartworms.
Parasites don't choose what species they want to get on. You can pack them in on yourself into your pets. During the summer, windows are open, everyone's enjoying it, mosquitoes go inside. So it's very important that even if you have an indoor pet, that they stay on preventatives year-round.
Dr. Hagens adds that regardless of the flea, tick, and heartworm preventatives you decide to give your pet, It's important that the medication comes from a reputable source. Yesterday at Market 606 in Paintsville, we caught up with the local nonprofit focused on making sure kids had a wonderful Christmas. Yesterday, Christmas for Kids of Kentucky came out to Market 606 to give out free cotton candy to kids and to accept donations from the community. Christmas for Kids of Kentucky President Brandon May says the organization is focused on getting enough donations to ensure every child in eastern Kentucky has an amazing Christmas.
From December, 11th to December 10th of the next year, we're just raising as much money as possible through all the organization's efforts. This year, of course, we're here at Market 606. We'll be at Spring Fling. We have the Paul Griner Memorial Scramble that all the benefit of that goes to Christmas for Kids this year at Paintsville Country Club.
May says if you missed the nonprofit's cotton candy booth at Market 606, to come to Paintsville Spring Fling, which is May 21st and 22nd, or the Paul Griner Memorial Golf Scramble on June 25th to help kids have a Merry Christmas. Today, Kentuckians are saying goodbye to an icon. Country music legend and Kentucky native Naomi Judd died at the age of 76. Judd's death comes on the eve of a major career milestone. She was set to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame today. Her passing leaves folks stunned and holding on to memories. Jeremy Edwards with the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame was inspired by the Judds, Naomi's Grammy-winning duo with her daughter Winona. Edwards and his sister grew up playing their music.
I think that's inspiring, first of all, because it lets people like myself, for anyone else aspiring to make music, this is possible. If you pursue it and work hard enough and believe in something, you can do it.
Before her musical career began, Naomi worked as a nurse. Then in the 1980s, Naomi and Winona started singing together and would go on to sell more than 20 million records and win 5 Grammys. Coming up at 6, we wrap up our series highlighting the people who make East Kentucky great and our community's destinations, winners of the East Kentucky Leadership Awards.
And sunshine and warm temperatures with us as we work through the beginning of the work week, but changes are on the way. Details coming up next.